Hey everyone, it's Melody with Design by Melody here. I am working on the third layout with my A Beautiful Mess kits. I got the Messy Box and the Happy Mail kit. And these are the supplies that I have left. I'm just kind of flipping through to share with you what I have, but also kind of to get a feel for the colors and see if there's anything that jumps out to me. Now, I mentioned this in the blog post, I think on my last layout. But I'm getting the idea that the Beautiful Mess kits are really perfect for those people who have a large stash, but don't necessarily want to work out of their stash. And, I don't know if you're one of those people, but I have a ton of things in my stash, but I don't always want to work out of my stash. I want to use new products and fresh things. So this kit is perfect for this because it doesn't exactly have enough to complete a couple layouts. I mean, it definitely has enough cards, but there aren't enough embellishments, in my opinion, to complete multiple layouts. So it's perfect to pair with your stash. So it's kind of a great complement. You get the papers and a few embellishments, a few new things to work with, but I'm also able to pull from my stash and pull things that maybe have been sitting there for a couple months that I just haven't gotten to use. I have found that a lot of times when I work out of a kit, especially if it's a like a full scrapbook kit, there tend to be a ton of supplies, and so I try my hardest to kill that kit or use up all the supplies in that kit, so I don't add things to my stash after I'm done with the kit. But I don't typically use that much from my stash, so it's kind of like an ever-growing stock of supplies, which is fantastic because I'm never going to run out of things, which is great. But I also want to be using the things that are in my stash. So I particularly have just found, I mean, in my own opinion, that this kit is perfect for people who may have a lot of things in their stash but like to get new things each and every month. So I would highly suggest this kit if you're that type of person, which I think I am. So anyways, the very first thing I did was laid out all of my photos and the cards that I plan to use. So I'm kind of, as you can see, honing in on the bright pinks, the hot pink colors, the black and white cards, and then a few pops of that cool blue color. I found that the blue kind of toned down the layout a little bit. It brought in a cool color, and it also kind of helped ground the rest of the colors. It kept it from being quite so bold and just gave it a very nice balance to the entire layout. So these photos are actually from March of 2015. We went to the zoo. We go to the zoo every year. I meet my family there. The zoo is almost exactly halfway between our house and their house in Charlotte. So it's kind of a nice meeting point. And that in 2015, we decided to go a lot earlier in March instead of the dead of July. The year before we went at my birthday, which is at the end of July. And it is so hot at that time of the year. It is so hard to stay at a zoo all day long where you're outside. And the Asheboro Zoo. Oh, cities. Okay. The Asheboro Zoo is really wide and spread out. It's a fantastic zoo. If you live in North Carolina or around North Carolina and you haven't been there, you need to go because it's a great zoo. It's not a free zoo like a lot of, well, like some of them are, so you do have to pay to get in. But let me tell you, there are some really nice exhibits at this zoo. We have always loved it, and I will continue to go. I actually played around with the idea of getting a membership, but we just don't go quite enough to get a membership. I think you have to go 4 times in order to make it worth it, which really they're open, like I think they're open every single day of the year except for Christmas Day, maybe Thanksgiving Day, something like that. So truly having a membership would be perfect. But I don't know. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. We had memberships at museums last year, which was great. We used it all the time. So anyways, so these photos are from the zoo. This is one spread, and I'll probably do the next layout that I'll probably do with this kit is probably going to be the other side of this spread. So again, this is from March 2015. It's not my title page, but it is one of the middle pages in that part of my album. So I'm going to create a title for this these 2 pages, just going to say Zoo 2015. And what I'm doing here, as I mentioned, this kit is perfect for to pull out your stash with. Perfect for you to pull out a couple things to use up from your stash, but also to use the things from the kit. So I'm using a lot of things from the kit, like those pennant banners, the one that says Besties and the one that says Squad. And I'm also using the A Beautiful Mess sticker that was the packaging on that little glassine bag. I'm going to use the glassine bag. Of course, I've got all the cards here that I'm using, and I am going to use some sequins here in a bit. But I decided to pull out my LA Studio products. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I had to yawn. I decided to pull out my LA Studio products because I knew that there were some pinks in there as well as that tealy, that really pretty blue color. And that's exactly what I did. I had that 4x6 photo box. That's where I keep all of my like loose embellishments. Anything that's LA Studio, I put in that one that's labeled LA Studio. And then I do have a few new packages that are sitting in my bin where I keep new products. I keep all my new products together until I use them a few times, and then I'll distribute them in my stash, which most of my stash is color sorted, or the embellishments anyways, are color sorted in these little photo boxes. So I pulled out the one, it's called the Let's Eat collection, and it's the bits and pieces package, and that's where all those die cuts are that are on the title card right now that says Zoo. All of those die cuts are from that bits and pieces Let's Eat collection. So I'll pull that out. I think I end up using like 5 or 6 of those on this layout. I'll keep it in a little bin where I keep my new supplies for probably at least until I use it one more time, maybe 2 more times. I try to get each package used up at least 50% before I add it into my regular stash, because it seems to be once I add it into my regular stash, I don't pull it out and use it. I will use it, but I don't pull it out quite as quickly. So I like to get good use out of it before I put it up. I pulled out a couple alpha stickers to use with this layout as well. These hot pink stickers are actually from Recollections. I don't know like the font or anything, but it is from Recollections, and I just layered it on one of the little cut-off pieces I had from one of the cards that had just lines on it. I also pulled out some Kaiser Craft stickers, which you're going to see, alpha stickers that you're going to see in a little bit, and then some Studio Calico alphas. That black chipboard alpha that says Zoo is from the Studio Calico. Let's see. They don't really have a name on them, so I just called them black chipboard alphas because they're that thick chipboard. And then I'm also going to have another one that's the Color Theory alphas, and it's going to be the gray and clean slate. Now, the Color Theory alphas, if you have not seen them before, are great. First of all, they're really small and delicate, but they also have a lot of geotags and stars on them, and I found those elements on the sticker sheet very helpful in completing this spread in particular. Just kind of distributing all the different pieces that I pulled out. That one white grid label at the bottom had a bit of an orange on it, so I just trimmed off the orange in, and so it just kind of has the pinks and the reds and the teals. It does have one little stripe of orange, but it's not that big of a deal. Jeez, I'm so sorry. You'd think that I would be wide awake. I just had 2 cups of coffee. I guess I'm kind of past the point. I'm going to end up using my Sharpie pen to do my journaling because I like the contrast of the bold Sharpie pen against the black and white card. This that gray alpha sticker sheet that you see right there on the very top are those Color Theory alphas in clean slate. I'm pulling out these same hot pink alphas to do my date, and it was really irrelevant to know that it was what day of the month it was, so I just put Zoo 2015. And it's going to be in the March portion of my album, so it's going to be easy to understand that it was in March of 2015. And as always, with any chipboard alphas, I always reinforce it with glued. So make sure that you do that same thing if you have some of these what do you call them, chipboard alphas. They are not sticky like at all. All right, just adding some simple elements here. I like to work from card to card, but I don't go in any particular order, so I keep the entire spread laid out on my craft desk at all times while I'm working it. I don't really work on just one card. Well, no, never mind. I do work sometimes on one card individually, but I do not move the other cards out of the way because I like to see the distribution of color and elements and just to make sure that it is well balanced. I don't think each card has to match, but I do like to know that it's balanced and that they complement each other. I'm not one to have like a bright green card right next to a teal card, which is then right next to maybe a royal blue card. All that stuff starts to contrast a bit too much for my liking, so that's why I like to kind of have all of the cards out here at the same time. I have this banner that says thank you, and I'm going to cut it apart and just use the you portion of it. And then I'm going to use my Kaisercraft Alphas to put you make me smile. And I'm going to take some dots from that clean slate sticker sheet to do the you ... make me smile. And this particular photo is just a photo of us sitting in the car making silly faces and taking selfies when we were waiting on Mom and them to get there to the we were meeting at Zaxby's for lunch, which is what that photo is of on the top right where Kaylin and Walter are eating their lunch. So we were just playing and taking selfies while we were waiting for them to get there. Now I'll tell you about the photo that's kind of right next to this card, the one that says this was. So these are some monkeys that are walking in front of the glass, and there is the cutest little baby monkey hanging from his mother's, I'm assuming his mother's neck. I guess it was his mom, her neck as he walked by. And boy, this little monkey was so stinking cute. So I got a good picture of that one, which I'm going to put here. You know, I look at the pictures, the quality of photos. I like having old photos in my album, but I have such a hard time scrapbooking some old photos from like camera phones, probably about 7 or 8 years ago, because it's almost ridiculous. They're grainy, or at least mine are. They're grainy. The color is not good. The quality, the focus is a bit off. Camera phones have come a long way over the last couple of years. But you know what? I want to make sure I capture those memories, so I'll have them in my album. They will definitely be my album. I'm actually catching up on all my scrapbooking, which is amazing to me. So I'm probably going to start pulling out some old photos here in a little bit to get scrapping on. Someone had asked me if I could do kind of a monthly recap video since I don't film every single layout that I create. So I am going to be posting that on the last day of the month, I think. I think the last day of the month is on a Thursday for June. So I think that recap video is going to go up then. I was going through and listing all of the layouts that I have done this month and all of the projects. And I think I've done something like 16 layouts of projects. Now that includes a couple things like cards and things like inserts and things like that. But that's a lot to complete in 1 month. And that I think is about my average. We shall see, because I plan to do this monthly recap video on a regular basis. So if I can maintain 15 layouts a month, then I'll be caught up in no time, because this March 2015 portion of my album only had 4 layouts for the entire month. So I can, in theory, I can scrapbook multiple months in 1 month and get myself caught up. I don't really care to be like 100% caught up, but I would like to be not 2 years behind either. I have a few photos from 2014 that still need to be scrapbooked, so I really want to get done with those, and I would really like to only have 2016 that's not scrapbooked yet. I love scrapbooking, though. It's never going to go away, and whenever I am done with all the photos that I have, then I'll find something else to scrapbook about. Maybe I'll scrapbook about food or something. I'm not really sure. I hadn't thought that far ahead. I'm just going to assume I'm probably not going to get completely caught up ever. So anyways, sorry my head keeps going into frame here. I wanted to make sure I had those letters lined up decently well. Those Kaisercraft stickers are amazing. I love them. Thank you so much, Angela, for getting them for me. I probably use the black and the white ones more than anything else, especially this black set. There are 2 different fonts, both in uppercase and lowercase, on this one little sticker sheet. So it's a great, very versatile sticker sheet to use. just kind of looking around on my layout to see if there's anything that I can add. I'm adding a few little bits of sequins, and I'm just adding 3. Instead of adding, 3 on each card, I just add 1 to 3 different places on the entire spread. I just felt like it added a bit of that hot pink and brought it in a few more places. There wasn't that real deep bright pink on the title card, so adding that piece of sequins really brings that in. Now I chose to use the Sharpie pen here because it was such a bold contrast to the background and the layout. I felt like if I used my other pen it would just kind of get a bit lost, and that's also why I've been using my little Tile Alpha stickers so it doesn't get lost. It just is easy to read. So anyways, I'm just writing about how we really enjoy meeting the family at the zoo and how it's really been a fun tradition and all of that. By the way, I noticed that I had hit my camera, so my camera angle is a bit off and I can't seem to get it. Hopefully I'll have that situated for you guys shortly. It bugs me seeing the grid mat not be 100% lined up with the camera screen, so it's just not the same view though when I'm looking at it when I'm filming. So anyways, this completes the layout. Thank you so much for joining me, and keep an eye because I'm going to be doing a kit reveal video for my Cocoa Daisy kit, and then I'm also going to be doing the monthly recap video after that. So, all right guys, thank you so much and have a great day. Bye.